Did you experience any racism or discrimination? You had to have, right?
Oh my God. So the things though, again, high school, not as bad, because in high school, basically by playing sports, right, you can overcome anything, right? Because, you have to basically, I call the playground rules. If you can take on the biggest guys, everybody stops picking on you. So in the play school is like one of the things that I kind of skipped over. In coming to America, I got here in January of 1975, 6 months before high school started in September. So I got to go to like 6 months of 8th grade, right? Which to me was just like a total, to me at the time, going to 8th grade felt like a waste of time, because all I did is I spent almost my entire day at school in the ESL class with the Mexican kids.
Because you were learning to speak English.
I was trying to learn English, and the only thing I could understand was Spanish. So I became fluent in Spanish.
That makes sense from Portuguese. Yeah.
So I couldn't understand, even like by June, before I went to summer school, right? Before high school, just to try to catch up. Yeah. And the same thing, I just couldn't figure it out, right? Okay. So at the time, basically my counselor in junior high said, try playing a sport so that you can learn English.
Okay.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, anything. I goes, soccer? And I goes, no. And I go, why? He goes, even though I'm from Brazil, I'm going to play soccer with 7 Mexican kids I already hang out with all day. So that's not going to work.
Yeah.
And they said, well, there's another sport just like it you should try, called water polo.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Except for one thing they didn't tell me. You need to swim.
And you didn't swim?
I didn't swim.
How did you not swim from Brazil?
It's a long story, because I didn't grow up on the beach. I literally grew up 8 hours from the ocean. I lived inland, right? And of all the sports I played as a kid in Brazil, I played baseball.
Okay.
Random. We were the perennial Little League champions of Brazil, just because all the Japanese farmers play baseball.
Okay.
Long story, but that's what I played, right? Okay. So could I swim? No. I literally could get from one end of the pool without drowning. That was the extent of my swimming. Yeah. So I find myself literally jumping in the pool, barely able to literally waddle, right? To egg beater, whatever they call it. And I'm like, this is stupid. But the Asian in me said, determination goes, you're going to do this because you need to learn English. Yeah. So I started doing this. But if you know anything about water polo, it's a brutal sport. Contact.
I don't know much about it. I can imagine treading water for extended time.
Beyond dirty. It's like wrestling combined with hockey combined with...
You don't really see what's going on underneath.
It's dirty.
Really?
Oh my God. Pushing, shoving, holding, kicking, everything you can think of, right? To survive. So I was the smallest, slowest, didn't speak English player on the team.
Okay.
And on the depth chart, I was dead second to last.
On the what chart?
On the depth chart.
Oh, okay.
So 7 players play at a time.
Okay.
There were 32 kids on the freshman team. Okay. I was number 31. So I'm like, this thing sucks. So luckily for me, in 1975, there was a very cool black and white Western on TV called Kung Fu. You got to watch it sometime. You can watch it on YouTube, whatever. And in it, it's about a Shaolin monk that gets picked on the entire show. And at the very end of the show, he basically beats up everybody because he knows Kung Fu.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I'm going to try that. And trust me, I don't know Kung Fu, right? But nobody knew that, because in all of Southern California...
That was the stereotype.
Asian kids are 2 things Asian kids can do. Either really smart or they know Kung Fu.
Well, I remember Enter the Dragon, and then Channel 9 used to play old Kung Fu movies back in the day.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So they didn't know. So if there was... And again, in all of Southern California, there's 4 Asian kids playing water polo. The assumption is, right? The other 3, trust me, they were really good. They were swimmers, they were, but I couldn't swim nearly as fast as those guys, and I wasn't as big. But I figured, well, what the hell? Hit first and see what happens. Well, I got the tar beat out of me most of the time too, but I managed to hit first, right? So I got a lot of stuff. So I was able to play 3 years of varsity after my freshman year, which is crazy. Okay. Because I was known as one of the dirtiest players that ever played on the ice.
You're playing hockey. Everybody else is playing water polo.
That's right.
Damn.
So that's what I did. So that's the reason, right, that I survived it. So in high school, it was relatively easy
Yeah.
And I was, in my head, I go, dude, there's like 4 or 5 Asian kids in my whole high school then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I going to date a girl? There's no Asian girls to date. So I found myself dating American girls, right?
Yeah.
And of course, my mom and dad did the reverse. Goes, why can't you date an Asian girl? Goes, Mom, there are none.
Yeah.
So I go to college, and that's the first time.
Where'd you go to college?
San Diego State.
Oh, okay.
And again, that's where the fish tacos, road trips. But at San Diego State, it wasn't there, but it was when I came home for Thanksgiving, whatever it was, and we got together with all of our other friends that were all going away to college. And somewhere in the conversation, somebody said, oh yeah, fraternities and sororities. And again, being from Brazil, I had no idea what that was, right? And somebody literally says halfway through this, he goes, oh, it's not for you, Wayne. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's not for me? He goes, well, and without saying it, basically, because you're Asian. And fraternities and sororities are for white privileged kids.
More, yeah.
Predominantly, right?
Predominantly, they are.
And for the first time, I said to them, what are you guys talking about? And these are my friends from high school. And all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, I played water polo. I do everything I want to do. And I'm actually playing water polo at San Diego State, right? So I talked to my buddies from San Diego State. They're talking about, dude, spring semester, we're all going to do it together. So we got together. And to be a member of a fraternity, it's about your social skills.
Very much so.
Right?
Yeah.
You have a game, right? How pick up lines. What do you do to, So luckily, I mean, talk about, the thing I blessed my girlfriend at the time, her and her 30 plus girlfriends happened to be the hottest girls on campus at San Diego State. So I go first night, the brothers come in and they'll give me whatever. And they see a group of girls and they goes, well, go over there and see what you got. And I said, well, why don't you come with me? And they're like, why? He goes, I'm going to introduce you to the girls. So all of a sudden, he goes, hey, this is Tom, blah, blah, blah. And then there'd be another group of girls. I go, come on. And all of a sudden, after the first night, all the brothers are like, this Asian kid knows all the hottest freshmen.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a pickup line because you're already friends with them.
You've been a hustler since day one. It seems like out of necessity.
Right. So
but you can't teach that.
You can't teach it. So then all of a sudden, my friends are like, the first night, a kid that I didn't know, Brian, is the first kid already getting asked to join.
Yeah.
The second night, literally 2, 3 other of my friends already getting asked to join, right? So the first 4 guys are like 3 are my friends, 1 I don't know. I'm the 5th guy on the next night to join. And everybody said, dude, it's going to be until Friday before they even look at you. So it's Wednesday. I'm already in the fraternity, right? On Thursday night, Kevin, the last guy from our group, is like, oh, can we go over to the other fraternity? Because I'm not sure yet. I go, dude, I'll go with you. I already have a pledge pin. And all the guys goes, dude, we were going to offer you a thing. Goes, I'm sorry. I'm already a part of another fraternity. And 20 minutes later, Kevin goes, I'm out. Let's go back. I'm going to be the 6th guy. So the 5 of us friends been friends since 1980.
Oh, that's amazing.
And 20 guys later, and all these parties and all this, people look at me and go, you got to be a member of the biggest fraternity on San Diego State. Go, how's that possible?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. So from that moment, I always say, that's all you're going to use is that Asian card on me? You're crazy because you got nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to come in at you from 20 different angles and I'm going to take you out. Yeah. And I've always said, dude, bring it, right? Because I don't care about your size. I don't care about anything you have. It's all about, it's me and you, right? Yes, you may have more money. Yes, you had a bigger car. Yes, you have this. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But this is right now, it's me and you.
Yeah.
Right? So I've always taken out challenges. And the reason I started a while was because eventually I did run into it again because being in corporate America,
I was going to
that's what I said, you know what? There's this thing called age and race, right?
Yeah.
And I finally got it and I goes, dude, this isn't cut out to be, what I thought it was going to be. And the opportunities are not there because they're not ready for us. So and I told my brother, goes, hey, what are you thinking? He goes, why don't we do what we know how to do, which is make food?
Yeah.
So Ed and I said, let's do it. Mingo was still in college and Mingo goes, you guys go and see what happens. And literally the rest is history,
Yeah. Well, one thing we don't have to contend with. So you said age and race.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry as much about gender either. Because that's a whole other bias, right?
Yeah, but that has changed a lot as well.
You've seen it
more
more so than I have, but yes, it's changed a lot.
I mean, females in the business school in 1980, there were like 3. Now it's like half of the school is female.